welcome back to the Embroidered Elephant Podcast. This is number 4. Thank you for joining me. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and New Year's. I know there was a lot different from usual, but I hope that you are healthy and that your family are healthy and that everything's going well at the moment. I did start, if you've seen the channel before, you'll see that I started Vlogmas, but I didn't continue, mainly without going into a massive rant about it. It's mainly due to my editing software that I'm not getting on with at the moment. I filmed quite a lot during Christmas, but due to some problems with it, I couldn't download it to my computer, so I got a bit discouraged. But hopefully the problem is solved now. But yeah, over Christmas it was quite nice. It was much more quiet than usual, obviously due to being in Buckinghamshire. We're in tier 4 now, so that is quite strict conditions. I know that over Christmas Day you're allowed to see a family member, but due to some personal reasons we were in self-isolation for 10 days. So we stayed put. But it was lovely. I spent it with my partner and my dad, whom I live with, and it was just a really nice day. Before that, on the 13th of December, it was my birthday. So that was a lovely day as well. I got absolutely spoiled. I'll show you some of the things I got as well, that are crochet related. And for New Year's Eve, again, we didn't really do a lot. I stayed up till midnight, obviously, to see the see 2020 out. I don't think anyone's really going to miss last year, and hopefully this year will be better. Hopefully at some point this quarantine will sort of end when it's safe to do so, and we'll be able to catch up with friends and family like we used to. But I'm happy for the new year, and I hope that it will that we'll be able to carry on how we're doing at the moment. So I know that a lot of people that I know personally and online have started small businesses, or they have continued or made it their full-time income, which is a great achievement. And I know that, obviously, as I said, I hope that everyone's healthy, and if we've got our health, then we can't complain too much. So yeah, the way I'm going to do this podcast is the same as I do it the previous times, or how many times I've done it before. I will be doing finished projects, works in progress, and then new things, and then any shop updates as well. So I've got quite a few finished objects. Obviously you can't really see very well. There we go. I am wearing one of my finished projects. So I'll just start with a little introduction. So when I started crochet earlier this year, there was 3 things that I had in mind that I really wanted to make. That was my sort of end goal. The first being a blanket, which I have made earlier in the year, and I'm currently working on as well, which you'll see in a minute. The second was socks, which again, if you've seen any previous videos, you will know that I've made 4 pairs of socks in total now. And the last one was to wear to make a jumper. So this is my finished jumper. It is worked up in double crochets, so it's quite simple. You've got the ribbon at the top and then the single crochet, so the whole jumper is double crochets even, and it is my scrap jumper. So a bit of a weird angle, but you can see that it's mainly DK wool, so you can acrylic, sorry, So you can see that there's darker grey at the top, then there's a lighter grey, light blue, mid blue, and sort of a navy, and then at the bottom grey, and this is chunky merino wool from a leftover project, and they all sort of went together. The back is fairly the same, but it hasn't got as many grey stripes on it. So this was a sort of tutorial by Emma P, who is on YouTube as well. Really easy to understand. It was a really good tutorial, and I'm actually looking at some more of hers as well. There's one that I wanted to do, which is, I think it's for matching pyjamas. So I just need the wool for that, and I've got quite a lot of projects that are sort of coming up, so I'll be doing that soon. So yeah, this is my jumper. You can see that I've got a little bit that I need to weave in there, but it was really easy. So you do all of your measurements, and then from the measurements, that's how many stitches you do. You just work to them. So if anyone's made a jumper before, or a sweater, depending on where you're from, then you might know that it's quite simple to do, but I hadn't, and for a beginner tutorial this was really, really good. So yeah, the only point that I do have, which is completely my own fault, is that I made the sleeves too long, so that's the end of my finger. So yeah, in terms of the width of them, they're fine. But it's just the length. I've got quite short arms, so I don't know what I did wrong there, but obviously I made them too long. Maybe I put in a little bit extra just in case, but I shouldn't have. At the end of the day, if you take your measurements properly, then they should be fine. That's where I went wrong. I didn't know how to measure my arm by myself, and you can see I've gone over a bit there as well. Yeah, I didn't know how to measure my arm by myself, so it must have been a dodgy arm measurement. But yeah, so I'm really happy with that, and I've actually got a couple more jumpers on the go as well, or coming up. So one of them sort of slips into new objects really. I got this fluffy yarn, Faux fur, and this is from Ice Yarns, and I'm really looking forward to that. It says that it's chunky. I don't know if that's due to the way that it works up, but I'm really looking forward to making a jumper out of that. I tend to wear jumpers more than cardigans, to be honest. So yeah, so I'm going to use the same tutorial for that, just because it'll be quite simple, and I know that I've got enough yarn. I've got 600 grams. So yeah, so that'll be one of my next projects. And I've signed myself up to make a grey jumper for my partner as well. I've bought some chunky wool, so it will obviously work up quicker, because although it's a simple stitch, it's one of the first ones that you're taught, it does take a long time if you're using DK. I would hate to add up the amount of hours, but I really like it, so it's worth it. That's my partner in the background if you can hear him. This was from Wilkinson's, so just a cheap acrylic. This was a cheap acrylic as well. This was from a kit from somewhere, and these blues were hobbycraft. And again, I have got a t-shirt on underneath. This one is from Wilkinson's as well, and as I said, this one's left over from the Wool Warehouse. I'm not sure what brand it was, but this was left over from a Christmas project, and this was a chunky yarn. So yeah, so quite a mix. I'm not looking forward to washing it though, because I don't know how it would, whether it would shrink. Obviously it's got different compositions in there, so I don't know if that will alter it. Fingers crossed it doesn't, but I've heard some stories about the wool shrinking at different rates. So hopefully that works out well. But yeah, as I said, because my I've ordered the wool for my partner's jumper, but because it hasn't come, I did make him a little jumper. I did make this just from, I didn't use a pattern for it, I just made it in 4 bits like I make this jumper. So the front, the back and the 2 sleeves. I think this is half a double crochet and this is double crochet, just with the increases there. I just stitched out. This was quick, this took me about 3/4 of an hour including the stitching up. So that's quite cute. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it, but I wrapped it up and said that this was his Christmas present, temporary Christmas present until his wool arrives. But he doesn't wear jumpers, well, he wears jumpers all the time, so hopefully there's not a sort of limit on when he can get them. The second wearable ones I did, if you watched the last podcast, you will see that I was making the socks. I was up to about here, I think, somewhere across here. So I finished those, and this was a yarn from Lazy Sunday Yarns. I will link it below which one it is because I've forgotten the exact name of it. It's based on a Greek goddess, if I can remember rightly. So Persephone, I think, something like that. But yeah, I love the way that it's crocheted up in rounds, or the way that it's colour pulled. I like it that it's striped. Yeah, so they are my finished, they were the last socks that I finished. But yeah. And then the other project, again, if you watched any of my Vlogmas, you will have seen that I was making these, or that I finished them. So these are obviously Christmas lights. Not sure what I'm going to do with them now that it's not Christmas anymore, but I just use them using scrap wool, scrap acrylic even. And the pattern I will try and link below. But the tops I just did, I sort of remembered from the pattern, I think they were single crochets. You just do 3 each side and then you do another one where you attach it. So I just sort of winged that bit, the top of them. They're not all even, but I like them not being all even. See, that one's longer. That the end of that one is longer than that one, for example. But they're homemade, so I don't want them to be perfect. So yeah, I had them on the end of my bed, I think. I filmed that. I'm not sure if it's online or not. But yeah, so that's another thing that I finished. They were quite a quick make, but I just needed motivation to finish them, and this is obviously just chained. So yeah, sorry if I'm rushing through them. The last finished object that I've got, this was a kit that I was given as a early Christmas present. It's by Buttons and Ribbons, I think the company is called. It was called Sew Your Own, but it's not sewing, obviously. If you are familiar with crochet and knitting, you will see that this is actually knitted. So this is obviously a hot water bottle. It's not straight by any measurements. It was a beginner kit. It's the first thing that I've knitted, but I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest. This is just a knit stitch, I think, don't quote me, and then the top is a knit and a purl stitch alternated. So this was the second side I did. You make it on 2 sides and sew it up. This was the first side I made, which yeah, needs a little bit of improvement. But it's finished anyway. So yeah, you sew it up at the sides. I just crocheted it up because I know how to do that. I know that it's quick. Yeah, the main downfall of this is the yarn. It didn't have the composition on it. I don't know if you can see it very well, but with the use, obviously with the hot water bottle, you put it in your bed, or you you know, have it on your tummy or whatever. But there's fluff. There's like a halo on this one, which obviously is going to get all wobbly the more that you use it. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to using it over and over, because I know that it's going to get wobbly. The yarn itself is lovely. I think it's just, I don't know what type of yarn it is. As I said, it's not, it hasn't got the composition on it. It just said yarn included. The pattern was, it just came with a written pattern with pictures on it, which I found I didn't find too helpful, to be honest. I'm quite a visual learner. I need to see people doing it, which obviously you can't include a video inside a kit, but I used the help from YouTube. I typed in just how to knit, and I think one of the patterns that I found quite useful was for a scarf. Obviously you've got the it shows you how to cast on, and it shows you the simple stitches, and then it shows you how to cast off as well. So I found that really useful. At one point I did sort of, because I'm used to crocheting, I'm quite new to crochet, but because I'm more used to that, I found it that I was tempted to just use a crochet hook so that the yarn stopped falling off the needles. But I didn't. I persevered. I did need a little bit of help with the pattern from Kay from Lazy Sunday Yarns. I can't speak. Yeah, I did need a bit of help from her, because in the pattern, the top, I don't know if it's, I think it's called ribbing, the top ribbing, it didn't actually decrease. So obviously for the shape of the water bottle, I would have thought that it would need to decrease, obviously because it's a lot smaller than the actual bottle itself. The neck is smaller, but it didn't decrease, so I was confused as to how that will work out, and to be honest, it has worked out how I thought it would. It's a little bit smaller. Maybe, I suppose, if the other side was done better, it might have decreased it a little bit more, but yeah, we came to the conclusion that because it was ribbed, it might pull it in a little bit, and obviously you need it to be big to fit it out of the cover if you need to wash the cover or anything. But yeah, it doesn't look like how I thought it would look like. But yeah, that's a finished object, and I'm, as I said, I'm pretty proud, because there was a few times that I wanted to just crochet it because that's what I know. But I persevered, which I'm very proud of. So now I can use that now that I've shown you. In terms of works in progress, the main one that I've got is obviously not blocked. It's this granny square blanket. So the yarn I use is a colour changing yarn, and it's called Heyday Spirit, I think. So yeah, I just love the way that it colour pulls. I think it looks quite nice. That's just a simple granny stitch, granny square even, and it will just be an ongoing project until it's big enough for a bed or a person, whichever comes first, without me getting unmotivated and just casting off. The other work in progress that I've got is my flower shawl. I haven't got that or well, it's over there. But I haven't brought that to show you because I haven't touched it. I just haven't done it because I was working on the jumper and socks and other things that I had motivation for. But yeah. So in terms of new things, I have bought quite a bit of yarn, and I've got some birthday presents as well. So I'll show you the presents I got, just because they're first. So 2 sock related goodies that I got from my dad and my partner. So these are sock blockers. So in case you're not aware, so blocking is the process of after you've finished a project, you either wet it in warm water and soap, or you can do it with steam as well, depending on different compositions and different things like that. And that helps to sort of straighten the project, or yeah, it helps to straighten the project. It helps to block the shape a bit. So yeah, that's quite a simple, quick explanation. But these are obviously for socks. So once you've made the sock, once you've crocheted it, I do wet blocking predominantly. So I have soaked these in water, and while they're drying you will put them on the sock blocker, and then they will dry in a sock shape. Obviously you can check that everything's in the right proportions and everything fits right. So I'm not sure where these are from because obviously they are a present. But yeah, they help the sock to block in a sock shape. So there was one lovely present. The other one that I've got to show, again, it's sock related. It's Step Into Crochet by Rohn. So he has got, I don't know if it says simply, 18 patterns for cozy and creative socks, along with lots of techniques as well. So Rohn is the first person I learnt to make socks from. I followed a tutorial, Marley Bird, My First Crochet Socks I think it's called. So I feel confident that I can understand his patterns and his techniques. So there are some patterns in here that I would like to try. For the new year I would like to try a few patterns that I haven't done before for socks in particular, just because I enjoy doing socks, and yeah, it would just be nice to have some different pairs. Another one I would like to do quite simply is colour work. So any of these, so stripy socks basically. There are patterns in there that work from the cuff down and the toe up. I'm going to be working from the toe up just because I don't have the confidence to start from the cuff down and still have enough yarn to finish it with. I don't know if that sounds silly. Obviously usually when I do my socks I have about 15-20 grams left over, so if I go with 50 grams I will have more than enough, but I just don't have the confidence to do it yet. I just feel as though for some strange reason I'll get to the bottom and I'll just have just a little bit not enough yarn. So I won't do that yet, but maybe in the new year I'll gather the confidence. I didn't think that I'd be making socks, but here we are. And you will see a theme with the rest of the yarn as well. Obviously I showed you the ice yarn. It doesn't have a name on there for the type of yarn. But yeah, that's for my jumper, as I showed you earlier. The next one, so this was a birthday present to myself, just because I needed an excuse to buy it. So this is called apple pie, and it is from Fjord Fibres from Norway. So I'll show you the business card in a minute. I really like this colour. I didn't realise that there would be bright yellows in there, lots of pink, and quite light pinks as well. So they are gorgeous, and this was 100 grams. I'm going to be making one pair of socks out of this. They are sock weight yarns, and it's Norwegian wool. So yeah, that was one. So I don't know what type of socks I'll make out of those. Maybe textured socks. The other one I got from Fjord Fibres was this, which is called Tropical Waters. So this, it's darker than it's coming out on camera. It's nice to have some sunshine. It's got sort of bright green parts to it, and darker blues, lighter blues. It's lovely. And you'll also see that they're all caked up because I was given a yarn swift for my birthday as well, which I am obsessed with. It's beautiful, and it's a lovely process of winding it up as well, just seeing all the colours. So yeah, this is Tropical Waters, and that is the card. I think it's Fjord Fibres. Yeah, I found her on Etsy. Excuse my nails. So she is on Etsy. And she had a lovely package. Obviously it took a bit longer because it's coming from Norway and with what's happening at the moment, but it arrived well, and that's the main thing. The second thing I got before Christmas, I'm not sure whether I showed this or not, apologies if I showed it in my last podcast, but this is by Catty Crafts, and it's called Black Magic. So it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's 100 grams. So it's coming up quite bright on camera, but in person it's sort of like a deepish purple, about that colour. So it might be quite difficult to work with. I don't know what I was expecting when I bought it, because this isn't usually what I would go for. Maybe I was looking to experiment, maybe, not sure. But I've heard a lot of people say that working with black yarn is quite difficult, especially when you're working with it at night, because obviously you can't see your stitches. But I'm hoping that it'll work up, and I know someone that will love this colourway, so maybe I'll be making something for them. Not giving anything away. Probably be socks. Yes, and the last thing that I bought this a little while ago. I think it was a sale. If it wasn't a sale, it was a really good price. So this is really beautiful yarn. It's sort of like a ready, what's the word for it? Ready purpley. I can't think of the word, but it's beautiful colour. I'll be able to think of it as soon as I put the camera down. And it's from Libertine Crochet. So yeah, I will obviously link the shop below. But this is special because it's reclaimed. This used to be a jumper. So that will be really fun to work with. Just to see how the colour pooling works. I think they'll be beautiful. Again, socks. I'm a little bit obsessed with socks, if you can't tell. It's nice because you can just, they're quick to work up, and you get something wearable from it as well. So yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely material. It's squidgy. It's nice. Don't know why I smell it. It doesn't smell of anything. But yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah, that is those are my goals for next year. obviously a lot of sock making. I'll be making some colourwork socks as well. I've got some plain merino that I'm going to put with the wool. I don't know if that's a big no-no, but I like it. It'll be quite nice. Maybe I won't do that after all, I don't know. So yes, I've got those coming up. And then obviously I've got the jumper for my partner, and I've got a faux fur jumper for myself, which I've never worked with faux fur, so that will be interesting. I don't know if it'll be difficult, but we shall see. In terms of business updates, my shop is closed at the moment, but it will probably be open by the time I put this video up, depending on when I can do it. I will be posting videos the first weekend of every month as well, depending on whether I can put this up on Saturday or whether it goes up on Sunday. So I'm filming this on the Saturday, so fingers crossed the editing goes well and I can get this up the same day. If not, it will be on the Sunday of the first Sunday of every month. And the business, my Etsy shop will be open as well. I shut it because, as I said, we were self-isolating, so I can't drop any packages off to the post office. Plus the queues were horrendous, and I didn't really want to stand in a queue for an hour for someone not to get their package for 2 or 3 weeks anyway. Sorry if that sounds quite negative. But I have got some fun and exciting things coming for next year, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm holding them quite close to my heart for the moment, but I have got some fabric coming. So yeah, I'm looking forward to telling you all about them when they arrive. And in between the podcast episodes, hopefully I'll be maybe uploading some studio vlogs or some new business ones. I've got quite a few ideas. I just need to sort out the editing software, and then the world is my oyster. So yeah, thank you for watching anyway. I hope that you are all healthy and happy at the moment, and well done for making it into 2021. I know that it hasn't been easy for anyone. So, you know, if you don't feel super productive at the moment, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to be productive all the time. We are going through a pandemic at the end of the day. But yeah, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. I love hearing from you. So if you want to send me a message either via Instagram, again it will be below, or if you want to send me a message on Etsy or comment, that would be great. I appreciate all of you, and as I said, I hope that you're well, and have a good 2021 until I see you next. Take care.